Imagine being able to extract the entire brain of a YouTube channel automatically, not just to save time, but to build your own knowledge base. One that you can use to create smarter content, train future collaborators, or even fine-tune your own AI tools. In this video, I'll show you how to use N8N to scrape every transcript from any YouTube channel and organize it all into a system that you can actually use. But I'm not going to stop there. I'm also going to show you how to productize this system by building a front end that turns this workflow into a SaaS tool that anyone can use. So this takes the value of your automation to the next level, and this is also something that people would be willing to pay for. The whole idea behind this video came from a video that came up on my YouTube feed where someone built a SaaS product that took them days to build because they were programming it the traditional way. So I wanted to show you how to do this in this video. So whether you want to launch a micro SaaS, whether you want to build an internal tool or create a public facing product, you'll see exactly how to go from an automated workflow to a revenue generating asset. No code, no scraping drama, just leverage. And the way I see it, this isn't just an automation. It's how you scale your brain, your business by using your content and the other people's content as well. So let's get right into it and let's start building. So over here, this is the plan with this video. So first, what we're going to do is we're going to get YouTube URL. We'll plug that into N8N. Then we'll grab all videos on that channel. And then we'll essentially scrape or get the transcript of all those videos, right? So get all transcripts. Now, the thing is that we need to figure out what to do with these transcripts. So the question is, once we have all the transcripts right here, what do we actually do with them? So step 5. And what I'm thinking is that we save everything to Airtable, where we'll have columns such as the YouTube URL. We'll have the actual transcript. So we'll have the full text. We could also have content ideas that arise from that. So based on each video, we could also have 5 key content ideas to create. If we wanted to, we could also take it to the next level and create a reg database out of that. So there's a lot of things that you could do with this. In addition to all this, what I want to do as well, as I mentioned earlier, is to build a front end for this product. So essentially, this would be a sort of a SaaS where someone can come onto the website, sign in, pay a monthly fee if you want it to be like that. And then they would have a text box where they can enter the URL, www.whatever, and they hit submit. Once they press that button, all this connects to your automation in N8N, which does all this stuff right here, right? And then either it returns the information to the user right here in a sort of database screen, or it sends them an email, or it does both. So there's a lot of different ways how this could go. Just for the purpose of this video, I want to do 2 things. Number 1 is I want to build the N8N system. So that's the first thing. And number 2, I want to use Lavill to build a front-facing interface. And what I'm going to do is, let's say we get 5 videos, right? Just for the sake of this demo. So here we'll get 5 videos, and here we'll get 5 videos. So we'll get the information in N8N in plain text format, and we'll get the same 5 videos in Lavill through the process that I just described right here. So that's the whole plan with this video. What I'm going to say also is that I haven't recorded any of this yet, so this will be done on the go. So you'll see me and see how I figure out any issues, any errors that I run into. So yeah, let's get right into the whole thing. So I have N8N. So I'll create a new workflow right here. What I'm going to be using is this tool called Epify. So once you log into Epify, you'll be able to run different actors or scrapers. However, in Epify, they are known as actors. And one of my favorite actors right here, if I go to past runs, is this YouTube transcript ninja. So here, all I will need are essentially 2 things. Number 1 is this, which is the URL of the video. And number 2, I will need API endpoint, which will be the run actor synchronously and get dataset items. So this will be kind of the second step of the process. If I go back here, what we'll need to do now, technically speaking, is we get get all URLs, and then we need to kind of loop through all those URLs. So if we have here a list of 5 items, we need to loop through 5 times, get the transcript of the first video, then loop over again, get the transcript of the second, the third, the fourth, and the fifth. So we'll have this sort of looping functionality that we'll need to include in N8N. And this YouTube transcript ninja is what will happen in this stage right here, right? So this is how we're going to get the transcript. However, we also need to find a way to grab all the videos from a specific channel. And as you can see, this YouTube transcript ninja extracts transcript from YouTube videos with ease. Its actor takes a YouTube URL as input and returns a transcript of the video. So we still need something to happen in the previous stage, which is the user enters the actual YouTube URL, YouTube channel URL, and we grab all the videos on this channel. So if I go back to Epify here and I search for YouTube, what I want is essentially a YouTube, I guess, channel scraper. So let's see this one. So unlock valuable insights, gather information like YouTube video title. Let's see. Enhance your analysis and decision making. Okay. The thing I don't like is that this requires a base $35 per month. So let's see if we can find something different. YouTube comments, YouTube shorts, transcript, video downloader, YouTube crawler, and video scraper. Okay, extract and download channel name, likes, number of views, and number of subscribers. So potentially not what we want either. Maximum videos, direct URL. Let's see. Comments, transcript, fast YouTube channel scraper. That stood out. Has no limits, uses to scrape on our multiple YouTube channels. So you get the channel info, URL, number of subscribers, videos, and views. Let's see, input. So we give it the start URL and tell a link to a channel. Okay, great, this is what we want. And let's see, output example. Okay, great, I think this is what we want. So this seems to be giving the title and the URL of that video. So let's try this as the kind of first stop that we're saying right here. So this could be the first stop, this could be the second, this we don't need. And yeah, let's get going. So in this case, for now, I'm just going to start and trigger this manually. Then we'll need to make an HTTP request to Epify, specifically to this YouTube channel scraper. So over here, we have we don't want the direct URL, right? We want the channel. So let's just remove that. Or directly input a video, a channel. Okay, so it is still in this space. Okay, let's put 10 there. Let's just go to YouTube and let's see what we get right there. So over here, we get this information. So let's see, Lucas, 0 to 300 real quick, BMW. I like that. I don't know how much transcript there is. Well, I bought the Africa Twin. I like that. Let's see, videos. Okay, yeah, let's go with the motorcycle channel here. So here I have the YouTube channel ID. So I'm just going to grab that, or rather the YouTube channel URL. And let's see what happens if we just paste that in there. Let's leave this as just 2 for now, just for me to check whether this can do what I'm after. And what I'm expecting is that this will give me the first 2 videos on that channel, unless there is some sorting condition that is in that, which is why I bought the Africa Twin, and the Africa Twin gets a flip plate. So here, great, we got those 2 titles along with the YouTube video URLs. So I open up these 2. As you can see, we got those 2 videos, great. So now the next step would be to actually get the transcript of each of these videos, which is this right here. So we've proven that this works. What I'm going to do is just copy the link address of that video, and I'm going to insert it right here. because what I want to see is that whether this YouTube transcript ninja can actually do the job. And in my case, I know that it can because I've used it multiple times before. However, it also always makes sense to double check that the actor that you're trying to run can actually do the thing you're doing or you're trying to do in the web version before you go ahead and build the whole N8N or no-code automation flow. And here we got the transcript writer. So this is working as expected. All right, sweet. So here, let's go back to actor. We will grab the JSON. So there are two different ways how we could trigger this N8, or rather this Epify actor, right? There is the manual approach, which we just did right here, right? So here we use the manual approach before. However, when it comes to the automation part, we don't want that. What we want is to use the JSON approach, because this is how we'll trigger it in N8N. And in order for that to happen, what we need to do is just click on the JSON and we get this code right here. We copy this and we will also go to API and API endpoints. And here, as I mentioned earlier, we need this run actor synchronously and get dataset items. So I'll just copy this, go back to N8N, hit import curl right here. And I'm just going to paste that in there. Hit import. And here, yeah, for some reason we have not for some reason, we have an error. In this case, this is not a curl request, this is a URL. So the way Epify works is that you do not have to press that. You just need to paste that in there. You choose post as the method, which you can see right here. So this is post. And the other thing is that we need to send the body. So here I'm going to choose JSON using JSON. And here I'll just paste the JSON code we got from here. In my case, I have the YouTube URL that I've set here. Once we take this to the next level using the front end, the SaaS model that we said, we will actually need to replace this URL right here with the URL that the user would have entered, right? We don't want to have that always hard-coded there. We don't always want to get those motorcycle videos. So that will change once we update this to the next level, or once we take this to the next level. In this case, here we get two results. So let's just hit test step and see whether we get the same results in N8N as we did in the web version. Because if that works, then we'll need to make the second request where we're getting the actual items, the actual videos, and then grabbing those transcripts. And just in preparation of that, I'm going to go back to the second actor we're going to need. I'm going to grab that. I'm going to go to API endpoints as well. And I'm going to choose or copy the run actor synchronously and get dataset items as well. So here, this just finished. It gave us two items as expected. And let's see what we got right here. So we got the information in this sort of line by line data. If we go to the table here, we'll also be able to see the information maybe in a better format. So we get the channel URL, we get the URL of the video, and yeah, we have the second URL right there, which is great. So now what I want to do is take those two items, and all I need technically is just those two items. So I'm just going to use a set node, and let's just grab the actual URL there. I'm going to pin this so I don't keep running it again and hit test workflow. So now here we just got those two URLs nicely created in this sort of table format, which is great. And if I go to JSON, we see that we have an array here with two items right there. So this is great. What I'm going to do next is use this loop over items, which will allow us to do this loop that we mentioned earlier. So here, I'm going to remove that. And under the loop, I'm going to make that HTTP request, which is where we're going to essentially take the URL that we've gotten from the previous node and actually extract the transcript from that. So here, I'm going to, again, choose post. I'm going to paste in the endpoint URL. I'm going to send the body. I'm going to choose using JSON right here. And I'll paste the information I had here. And here, I have a random video URL. In this case, we will need to replace this with the information that's going to come through from the previous node, right? So if I hit that step there, so I get some data coming in, we'll want to replace this right here with this right here. So let's just do that. Move that and drag and drop this right there. So now this will be dynamically added each and every time. And if I hit that step, I'm expecting to get the transcript of this first video, which is the why I bought the Africa Twin video. And yeah, we get the video title, we get the URL, we get the channel name, channel subscribers, and we get the transcript right there. Great, which is what we want. Now, let's say that what we want to do after this, and let's give this a better name. So this is get transcript, and this is get channel videos. So what we want to do after we get the transcript, let's just keep it simple and save everything to Airtable. So I'm just going to create a new Airtable database, create from scratch. And I'm just going to give this a YouTube transcript or YouTube channel videos transcript extractor. Extractor. And let's think about what we need here. Here we get this information. So we got the video title, URL, views. Yeah, let's keep that. Video post date, transcript. Anything else we get right here? No, that's pretty much it. So let's just have those fields. For the primary key, I'm just going to use that URL because that will always be unique. And then let's see what else we had. We had the video title. So this will be a single line text. Video URL, views, post date, and transcript. Okay, so views, that will be a number. Let's have a single line text for post date, which can also be a date, I guess. And let's have a long text for the transcript. So now, if I copy that name, go here and add a new node, I can go to Airtable, I can create a record, choose my database, table 1, and I'm just going to map all that information. I have the URL, I have the video title, views, post date, and transcript. If I hit that step, just as a quick test, this should add a 4th row with the video that I just got right here. Okay, so we have some issue here. Views expects a number, but we got, okay, 12,000,813 views. So the problem is that, yeah, that is expecting a number, but it got that in the format of a string. What you could try is to enable this typecast option. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't, I guess, from my experience. And if I hit that step, yeah, we're still getting that right there. So in this case, let's just disable the typecast, go back here, and let's just turn this to, let's leave this as views, and let's just turn it to a single line text. What we could do is also format that, I guess, so we could turn that into a number if we wanted to. Now, if I go back and refresh, hit that step, and this should work as expected. Great. So like this, if I now run this with the 2 videos that we have here, we'll be able to get those 2 videos. The only thing I need to do is just close the loop right here. So once we finish with the first video, this will loop through and then do the second video. And then it will keep going depending on how many videos we have added right here, right? So in this case, here we got 2 videos. Then we're looping through those 2 videos in the whole automation right here. We're getting the transcript, we're saving it to our table, and then we loop through once more, right? So pretty straightforward sort of flow. Now, let's zoom out. What we want is, I mean, we could do this in many different ways. Let's just test the whole workflow in this case, and let's increase the number from 2 to, let's say, 5. or 10, whatever. Let's do 5 videos. So we'll have some data to work with. I'm going to unpin and unpin. I'm going to save this, YouTube. Let's give it the same name as the database. Hit save, and let's test the workflow. So now this will go through and do the whole 5 videos from start to finish right here. So at the moment, this is grabbing the list of videos on the channel. Once it does that, once we get 5 videos right here, we should be able to, so we got the 5 videos there. And now this is going through and looping through those 5 items. So we got the first transcript, saved it to our table. Got the second one, saved it to our table. And it will keep going until it does all those 5 videos right here. So if we look back over in our table, you can see that this is adding the information right there. We get the views, we get the published date, and we get the transcript of each of those videos, which is the field right there. So this is essentially the product that we are building. And now, speaking of product, what we want to do is connect this to a front end. So rather than getting the rather than having to press test workflow each and every time, the user can initiate this. He can have the whole flow running, and then he will get the data back to the flow that we will build right here. So here in Lavill, what I'm going to do is just dictate what I want to build. I want to build a simple web application that allows the user to enter a YouTube channel URL and then press a submit button. Once they do this, the YouTube URL is sent to the following webhook, and the web app needs to wait for a response. Initiate a countdown starting from 90 all the way to 0 while the response is being waited for. Once you get a response, then you need to display the video transcripts in a way that is easy for the user to copy this. So the video transcripts need to have a copy button next to them. Is it the best sort of prompt? Not really. However, what you can also do, in addition to hitting enter and then iterating there, is something like this. So I have the prompt right there, and what I'm going to do is say, build me a image or create me an image that shows what this could look like. So we could also use something like ChatGPT in order to create the first draft of your application, the first, I guess, version. You could also draw it out here, just like we did here, and take a screenshot and share that with Lavill. There are multiple different ways how this could be created. If you have an idea of something that does the same thing, so if we go to YouTube channel transcription, let's see, read YouTube videos. We could just take a screenshot of this. So this allows you to, I guess, add a Chrome extension. There's a simple landing page, and this is just for a YouTube video though. So what we want is something that's beyond this. So let's see what we have here. Okay, so YouTube channel URL, submit, waiting, and then the video transcripts there. I mean, it's not bad for a first version. It's not the sexiest looking, like the sexiest most ever web app I've ever seen, but it could get the job done. In my case, I'm just going to go here and just hit enter. And let's see what Lavill will be able to come up with. And in the meantime, what I didn't do is tell Lavill the webhook where this information is going to get sent. So here, I just created a webhook. And what I want to do is, after the loop is done, is respond to the webhook. So here, first of all, I'm going to add or connect the webhook right here to this. I'm also going to add a set here, which will be the video channel URL. Let's put that as empty for now. And here, I'm going to, let's say, video channel URL. So this will essentially, either if this gets triggered through the manual input or like hitting the test workflow right here, or to the webhook, we'll be able to have the same sort of input coming into the channel, get channel videos. So this will customize in a second once we get the information from Lavill. And speaking of Lavill, what I'll say is the webhook to send the data to is the following. And I'm just pasted the webhook right there. I get the nice Lavill sound, which means that this was created. I'm just going to hit enter here because I want this to be able to send the data to that webhook. So this should update this over here in a second. Okay. Now, what else? What we want here is that once we get the information into the webhook, we don't want to respond immediately. We want to respond to webhook node, which also means that over here with these 5 items, we need to send them back to the webhook, and we will respond with JSON. So here, if I look at this, what we will respond with is, I mean, we could send all the information if we wanted to. However, I think that's a bit overkill. So what I want to do is just, I think what I want to do is just send the actual transcripts. So here, I'm going to use a set. And do I want a set? No, I just want, I guess, an append. Not summarize. Where is aggregate, not append. So let's aggregate based on the transcript. So here we'll just combine those the fields that are called transcript from the information that we get from the loop over items. And what I want is to test this. I don't want to run this once more as I'm testing the aggregate function. So let's just, for now, unhook that. Let us unhook that as well. And let's hit test workflow. Okay, so this is waiting for the trigger event. So what we want is just to disable this for now. So we'll be able to have the information sent right here. So this now has one transcript field. Now the issue, I guess, is that this is, combining all the transcripts together rather than having those, rather than like picking up or mapping only the transcripts, which isn't bad. It's just that there's no disconnect between the first and the second. So I think what I'll do is add a code node here, and let's just copy this. Let's go to ChatGPT, and let's say from the previous node in N8N, whose input or whose output is below, I want you to extract only the transcript and return these as one array with X number of items. Let's see what we get here. So the plan is to not just combine this, right, and this together. We want to extract that, but no, this isn't what I want. What I want is a code node that can do the job in N8N. So this literally took it verbatim. I want you to, I did say extract the transcript. So my instructions really suck there. All right, so code node JavaScript, copy. Let's go back here. Let's try this. And let's run this once more. So here, we get one item. The problem is that, this is still one item. This is good, but I want it to be one array with multiple items rather than one single item. So unless I'm mistaken here, this is creating. Is there a distinction between? No, I'm getting one item here. What I'd like is 5 items. Let's see. Yeah, something like that. Copy, go back to N8N, test app, Now we got, that's weird. So now we got 7 items here. And we got 2 items there. Why did we get 2 items? It's kind of weird. Back at the initial. Okay, let's test this one. Copy. Not exactly what I'm after. This is the output that I got with the updated code. What you actually want is one output item with a field transcript that holds an array of multiple transcripts. And not as one huge string. Yep. Let's go back here, test step. However, we're still getting these 2 items here, which is not what we want. Transcript. Let's try this once more. This is still the output I'm getting. Each containing 1 transcript string. Your current output is just 1 item with 1 transcript array, which is not what you want. Did I define that wrong? I guess, maybe. I mean, here we're still getting 2 items there. Transcript. Yeah, for some reason I'm still getting just 1 there. So here I'm getting 7 items also, which is interesting, I guess. I'm not sure why I'm getting that. So what if we, I guess if we use a set and we extract the transcript, this would just fields transcript, and then everything else is empty. Loop over items. 1, 2. I'm not sure if this is actually, it should grab the right information. Okay, let's try this once more. Let's unpin this and unpin this, and let's see if we can get actual data. Sometimes pinning doesn't really, I mean, it's a super useful feature, but sometimes it acts up a bit. What I'm also going to do here is, let's reintroduce the setter here. So what I'll do is now initiate this through the webhook. So I'll also be able to test this as well. So I enabled this once more. I'm going to hit test workflow. So this is now waiting for a trigger event. Great. And let's go to Lavill and see whether this is working. And this is saying I've updated the webhook URL, which is great. So if I go to the YouTube channel, which is still here somewhere, and paste that. Also I don't like this. This is saying YouTube video URL. So this should be not YouTube video URL, but rather YouTube channel URL. So let's hit extract. That's what we get there. So here we're saying get failed to extract transcript. And no data was sent here. All right. Let's just double check that maybe this needs to be post. Let's allow multiple inputs. Get and post. And let's hit test workflow. Try once more. No, this is saying fail to extract transcript. So let's do that. And let's also take a screenshot of that. There are 2 things that aren't working for me. Number 1, the webhook is not working. So when I hit extract and send a YouTube video channel URL, which I'll speak about in the next note, this is giving me an error which is saying failed to extract transcript with no data getting sent to the webhook. Secondly, this is a YouTube channel video extractor. So the way it will work is that the user will enter a channel URL and will extract all the videos from the channel and then their respective transcripts. So the copy shouldn't be YouTube transcript extractor because we're extracting all the channel videos and their respective transcripts. So please update this. Okay. And here saying no respond to webhook node found in the workflow. Oh yeah, true. So here this should also be connected to that eventually in order for this to work. So I don't know, it's maybe our N8N issue that was not doing the work as expected there. So two things, we need to figure out why this is not sending in the information and what is happening here and how we essentially we only want to send the transcript back to the user. So let's see what we get here in a second. In the meantime, I can also look at something like CodePen, which will allow me to make this a bit nicer looking once we get this working. So let's see if there's something that stands out in terms of that. I like this lava orb. Maybe. Let's see. This has been updated. Fixed. Change the method to get. Okay. Okay. Let's test this. Okay. And now we have the at channel name, which is great, rather than the channel video expectation, I guess. So this is waiting for a trigger or for input. Please enter a valid YouTube channel URL. Okay. Let's enter that. Okay, so that started from 90 seconds, great. And it's going down, great. We got the information right here. Let's stop this. Now, let's see what we got here. So we should have gotten the, whatever the user entered. Did we actually get that? For some reason we're getting, no, we're not getting that. So here, that's very weird. So this is get, okay. Let's copy this. Let's go back to Lavill and say, now the webhook is working, but we didn't actually get the URL that the user has entered in the web app to our webhook. Which is pretty weird. I can see we're probably sending the get. We're not including YouTube channel URL. Yeah. Ideally, you know, we need that to be sent. You know, I think that's part, like the critical part of the whole workflow. Okay, let's fix this issue. Now, maybe this would be cool to include right there. So I've modified this, okay, and then it's asking me if I want to refactor that code, which we'll leave for now. So let's actually publish this. Let's go back here. Let's test workflow. And let's try and extract videos once more. So the question is, did we get that information? Which we now did. We get the channel URL right there, which is great. So now what we could do is actually set that as the variable itself. So let's call this channel URL. And here what I want is, let's see. Let's call this channel URL, which can be that. And here, now the issue is that if I were to reference that in this node, I think it would be query.channel URL. So here if I flip to expression and insert this here, yeah, this is query.channel URL, as you can see, simply because the way this is structured. So in order to have the same thing going into this node, what I want to do is add a, first of all, this is just get, so we can remove the post. Here we're going to add a set, I'm just going to grab that and call it channel URL, which now means that whether the input into the edit field also, I'm not sure why. Okay, great. Yeah, there was a bit of a confusion there with all those spaghetti arrows. So here we get the channel URL here, which the user can manually enter right there. Or we get the channel URL, which the system gets from the webhook, which means that now it will always be json.channel URL, right? There's no difference in that name. So this will always work right there. If I were to pin this and run the data once more, or rather, let's just send the data over from Lavill again. Hit extract, and we need to hit test workflow. Extract videos. Okay, that starts the countdown timer there. And now we're getting the information from Epify. So let's see what happens by the end of this. The only issue is that this is going to send, this my field equals value, whatever. So it won't be the actual correct stuff, but it will also give us the data we need to play around with this. Another option would be to add the, like, how many videos do you want to extract over here? So that could also be possible. Okay. Another thing, now that I think about it, maybe a minute and a half won't be enough if we're scraping the whole YouTube channel, right? So that can also take much longer than 90 seconds. But let's see, I think for the purpose of this video, that would be enough. So we get 2 items so far. This is still waiting, extracting channel videos, okay. Four items, so now it's the last one there. Okay, something should have gotten back to here. Here, the issue is that we get no transcripts found for this channel. So now we just need to define how we're sending the information. Simply because here, I'm guessing this wasn't expecting this, right? It was expecting something different. So what we need to do is tell Lavill the format in which it should expect the information. So here, we've got 5 items in terms of the final branch, right? In the done branch. And let's see. So I still would like to just send the transcript only. So we had the aggregate which was working. It was just inserting everything together. So if we connect this and we say aggregate transcript, I mean, that could work. It's just that alternatively, we could also return the URL transcript combination, I guess. Yeah, let's try that. So let's just grab this information. Let's go to ChatGPT, open a new window, and say in N8N, I want you to help me create a code node that extracts the URL and transcript combination based on the following input. So input an array of items. Each item is an object with a structure. Okay. And this should give us that. Okay. That I think works. But let's see. So here we had code code paste, and let's just pin that, and also Airtable. So we'll be able to hit test step there. So here I cannot treat properties of undefined. Okay, hit test workflow. Now the issue is that we are not, okay, we're not getting any data. So, okay, I don't know why I hit disable for some reason. So test step, okay. And now, cannot read properties of undefined reading URL. Generally, this means that the data is not finding the right variable, I guess. So copy, paste, I'm getting this error. Some of the incoming items might not have the fields object. I mean, it shouldn't not have that, but copy. All right, so here we got URL transcript, but we only got that for one, no? Yeah. Whereas here, okay, this is super interesting. So this might make sense. Here there's only a URL. Rather than everything else. Why is that? All right, so let's see. Here we only got. Why did we get only one item? 5 items. Loop over items one by one. Get transcript. And this should be the URL. I'm not sure if it's an issue of the pinning of the data, which it might just be. Yeah, let's run this once more. Test workflow. I just want to use live data to figure this out. What I might do is, if this doesn't work as expected, is also change the number of videos I'm grabbing to something like 2. So let's just change this to 2, just for testing. So then it would be easier to just not have to run through those each and every time. Because yeah, for some reason, I'm not sure why we're showing only one item passing through. Okay, 4. So 2 more videos. Okay, so we got 5 items there. Now, if we connect this code node and we hit test step, it's going through again once more. Okay, so we got our 2 items here, URL transcript, and I think we might be in business, and we got URL transcript, great. So now, if I choose respond to webhook, let's just respond with all incoming items. I think that might just do the trick. So if I copy this and just go back here and just say, this is working fine except for the response. The below is an example of the type of response you can expect. So please ensure that you can accommodate this. Did I not click there? Yeah. This is working fine except for the response because I'm getting no transcripts found even though the webhook is sending a response back. The below is an example of the type of response to expect. Okay, sweet. I see the issue. The response format from the webhook is coming back correctly, but it appears our code isn't properly handling the specific response format. Yeah, makes sense. So if we go back here, we can delete that. And let's unpin the webhook. So in a second, we'll be able to test this properly. So test workflow, just to be 100% correct, let's remove the post there. We don't need that. Hit test workflow. And once this is done, we'll be able to hit extract video or videos and see whether we get those 2 videos back as expected. Okay, so I've updated the code and that is getting along. Sure. Let's extract videos. Let's see what happens here. Okay, so we're getting the transcript of the first video. We're saving to our table, second video, then our table. I think at this stage our table is getting, quite long. And we responded to the webhook. Now, did we get that? Yes. So we got video 1. And we got video 2. So we got those 2 back. Can we copy it? Or them? Yep. So if I open up my notepad, let's see if we got that correctly. Yeah, we did video 1 and video 2. Great. So this is working as expected. So obviously there's a lot that we can do to make this look nicer. We could separate it out into 2 boxes. For example, if there are 2 videos, we could tell Lavill, in the case of 2 videos, you need to understand how many videos there are and then like create separate boxes for them like so, right? We could give the user the ability to save their transcripts. If we create sort of user management, we could have a page. We have a link here that says go to past history, right? When they click on that, on this past history, they would get taken to a page which has all the videos that they have generated, like that they have extracted the transcripts of. Something like a table, which would have the video URL right there, along with the transcript right there. And you have the multiple ones right there. So there's all that can be done with that. However, I think for what we were able to create right here, even though it took a bit of back and forth when it came to making this transcript work, I think we're good to go right here. If you wanted to offer this as a service, all you would need to do is, number 1, add some sort of user management system. So connect to something like Superbase, which you can click on right there, and that would allow you to manage Superbase. Then you would need to have some sort of payment abilities, like the ability to take payment. So you can connect to something like Stripe, and that would allow you to get users to pay before they're able to use the workflow that you have built here. In terms of cost, this is very cheap in the sense that here, as you can see, it went from 1 cent to 26 cents. So all those testing and back and forth cost me around 25 cents in total, which isn't a lot. Obviously, we're just playing around with 2 videos or 5 videos, so that's not a lot of videos. But then again, it's not like if you're charging people for this, there's a lot of profit margin that you can have. Anyway, that's pretty much it from my end for this video. Hope you found it useful. If you did, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button so you don't miss future videos. Check out the link in the description for the blueprint to this automation. And let me know what sort of stuff you want to see in the future so I can create that content for you as well. I'll speak to you soon.